as the comm signal turns off, the distorted holographic image, there was no image to see, but there was another signal there, collapses back into the terminal as the sounds of Vilra tinkering with 2 pints open panels as your beautification droid hangs limply in her arms on the floor. And as you can still hear the echo of the voices of some of your most important loved ones in your mind still. You're in the comms tower. There's still power running to it. There's still a disabled seeker droid out in the power station. And now there's a few lights in an area that's been covered in darkness for years. Are you going to stay and continue to work on 2 Pint, or are you going to go?
How much longer do I think it'll take to get 2 Pint back up?
2 Pint got overloaded with a stun charge that completely shut down their systems. You can bring 2 Pint back online. Are you going to take the time to do that here, or are you going to take the time to do that somewhere else?
Yeah, I think I'll press pause and put them in a backpack and finish somewhere else.
Tanal's already made the sling, so can carry 2 Pint out. Sheila, Tanal.
I think the whole time that this was happening, Tanal was kind of circling the room, looking out the window, like white knuckling the blaster in her hand, just on the hunt for any other signs of danger. And the whole time the recording was playing, she just froze with her back to everyone, and I think turns back around. Do we have everything that we need?
You okay?
Yeah, Art, that was a lot.
Do we have everything that we need?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, let's get out of here.
Okay. Can you carry 2 Pint? He's
Yeah.
kind of heavy.
Yeah, sure.
Or I can help, it's, yeah.
Royd baby Bjorn.
2 Pint is heavy,
Pop him
but
back in there.
Tanal's got those farmer shoulders, and so they are able to absolutely carry your droid companion out. If you're going to leave the communications yard, head back down those dark streets that have been fenced off and blocked off from years ago. Are you going to go back and shut down the power station and take the time to do that, or are you just going to leave it running? Because right now there's still power being siphoned off from the settlement now that was able to bring the communications array back online long enough for you to search that specific comm channel.
We should shut it down.
Yeah, I was going to say we should probably shut it down.
Okay.
We'll get suspicious.
Okay. Tanal's got 2 Pint. Tanal and Gila can stay somewhere hidden. Vilra can run down. The disabled and now destroyed seeker droid still laying in the middle of the floor. It doesn't take you very long to just shut everything down, pull down the final lock, and the hum of power that's now running through the communications yard starts to subside, and then eventually just descends and goes away, and the last little lights on the tower start to wink out again, and it just everything comes back to darkness again. There's little looking up to the communications command center where you were, you could see there was an ambient glow from the terminals that were online, and now those fade off as well, and it returns to that dull black gray empty space.
Is it possible to take the seeker droid with me to see if maybe our Jedi friend recognizes anything about it?
Okay, so there's the one in the power station, and there's also one that you're going to pass on the way back to the hole in the fence that Tanal already shot.
The one that I destroyed, because I would have been next to it when I turned the power off.
Okay, so you're going to pick that one up and carry it with you?
Yeah.
It's a bit jangly and noisy because it's been torn open and shot and beaten and battered, but you can bring it. It's smaller than 2 Pint. You can carry it.
Okay. Yeah, maybe like wrap it in a blanket type of thing. Like just kind of put her jacket over it,
right.
tie it up.
Now you got 2 droids and yourselves. You bypass the other seeker droid that is still got a bit of smoke coming off of it from the blaster shot that Tanal hit with. And you get to the hole in the fence. Through the hole in the fence, you're back into Somber. Where are you going to go? It's still the dead of night.
Back to the house? The homestead, maybe? I don't really want to be out that much.
Yeah, we need to get off the streets.
Yeah, and kind of process this.
You go back to the homestead for the homestead of the local foreman Rix, whom you also know as Dale Elkin, Jedi in hiding. And you get back to the homestead and you get off the streets so that you can hide and stay out of sight. And we want to thank everyone watching from emerging from your hidey holes for a little while to watch us here. And we want to welcome you to Quadrilateral Frostfall, a Star Wars The Role-Playing Game actual play. Welcome to Dungeon Scrawlers. This is your home for adventures told by some of your favorite authors and storytellers. And before we introduce everybody, I have two great sponsors to tell you about. Both make dice, and both are awesome in different ways. In a realm where most warriors use plastic, light weapons, Norse Foundry specializes in metal dice. When you roll them, it feels like you are skillfully smashing the rigid armor of the monster horde. Norse Foundry offers other cool gaming accessories as well, and you can find their store and more about them at norsefoundry.com. Phoenix Dice is named for the creature that rises from the ashes because they use all recycled materials for the dice. They are always designing and testing multiple types of recycled materials for your enjoyment, raising dice from the ashes and onwards to epic adventures. You can find their dice and accessories at phoenixdice.com. Welcome to Quadrilateral Frostfall, a Star Wars actual play using the Star Wars The Role-Playing Game 2nd edition, revised and expanded as originally published by West End Games. I am your game master, Jason Collins. I'm an actual play streamer, freelance tabletop role-playing game designer, and comic book writer. You can find my work and links to the first chapter of Quadrilateral on my link tree at digital_Collins. And of course, you can find it on the Dungeon Scrawlers Twitch and YouTube channels.
Hi, everybody. My name is Barnaby. I use they, them pronouns. I am a TTRPG illustrator and a freelance actual play person. You can find me at _Barnaby everywhere, all over the internet.
Hello, everyone. My name is Mara. You can find me on the internet at Lore Dropout or College of Lore Dropout. Try one of them, you'll find me there. You can also find me over on Starlight Tales, a queer and trans-led actual play that's all about space.
Hi, I'm Diana. You can find me most places on the internet at Sapphic Straganona or just Sapphic Straga. You can also find me over on Starlight Tales doing queer space shenanigans with my Callisto buddy Mara. And you can also find some of my writing in the upcoming or possibly out, depending on when this comes out, tabletop game Story Bake. It's a fun, funky little baking adventure, and yours truly is writing a cute little adventure module. Have you ever wanted to do peep jousting, but make it real? You could do that. You could do that with this game. So go check it out.
Hi, everyone. My name is May. You can find me on the internet at Maybe Mayhem. You can also find me on my podcast, Socially Plagued, where we talk about stuff that bothers us.
And as we resume the game, I wanted to let everybody know watching from home in the future that today's a special day for all of us because we are not only recording our latest episode of Quadrilateral Frostfall, but we wanted to wish all of you May the 4th be with you. And so thank you very much. So after learning more about the aquaculture settlement of Somber and the origin of the foreman Rix, who, as we know, is Dale Ellikin, you walked the streets of Somber and you discovered that the hydrocarbon platform that is drilling for hydrocarbons is, of course, poisoning the bay and the sea life that sustains both their food source and their economy. As you walked and learned about these pieces, Dale had a conversation with Tanal, warning her that Vilra is about to discover a much larger galaxy as her knowledge of what he calls the Force is increasing, and so too will the danger that she faces. Dale warned Tanal to not let her emotions prevent her from protecting those she cares about, but Tanal had her own warning back to Dale about what her emotions mean to her and the strength that she derives from them. But even as Dale gave that warning to Tanal, Dale rushed to protect Vilra and Gila from entering the local repair depot, as he warned that the owner and his brother are both Imperial loyalists and they are dangerous. After spending time on the streets of Somber and witnessing the arrival of the latest civilian ship, you also witnessed the arrival of local bounty hunters, who, when they flashed their credentials and passed the security checkpoint, they entered the settlement fully armed and armored. Dale had to resume the role of Rix the foreman. He says he had to work a night shift, and so he was going to part ways with you. He left you to explore the settlement, and he left you with a final message to try and stay out of trouble. At Tanal's urging, you made the plan to infiltrate the old offline communications array at the north end of town. You broke in. You split into two teams, one to secure the communications command room and the other to use the old power station to jumpstart the array. Tanal and Gila took a risk and blasted an Imperial Seeker probe droid that was patrolling the site to prevent it from discovering your presence. And Vilra and Two Pint found the power station, but at the same time, a Imperial Seeker droid found them. A brutally fast blaster fight ensued, with Vilra stopping the Seeker droid from escaping and broadcasting your location, but not before the Seeker's final defensive stun blast took out a heroic Two Pint, who interceded their chassis to protect Vilra from the blast. With Two Pint offline, it was up to Gila to search out the old comm channel used by Anti-Vima to send the coordinates that Gila's mother, Healy, smuggled out of the Imperial communications back on your homeworld of Salashay, coordinates containing the location of Jedi on the run that the Empire had discovered and were en route to capture or to kill. And Gila found what she thought was the last transmission sent on this channel, a new set of coordinates for the next planet at risk, sent years ago by Anti-Vima and received by Vilra's mother, Yuna. But it wasn't the last transmission. There was one more transmission, sent not years ago, but a week ago, on the same channel, containing messages and a warning for each of you. You make your way back to Dale's homestead. You get inside. It's late at night. There was nobody in the side streets where you were. Rix the foreman is well known, perhaps well respected. He doesn't need to keep his place locked up. He also doesn't have a lot of value inside from what you've seen. And you're able to get back inside with two droid bodies and seal up where you can finally let out a breath of air. You've got coordinates and a communications transmission that you probably need to try and clean up, but that might mean listening to those messages again. But then you've also got a droid to repair and a second Imperial droid now in Dale's homestead that you can decide what to do with. But for the moment, you're alone and you're safe.
I want to get to work on 2 Pint, like, immediately.
Yeah, I think Tanal immediately comes in, sweeps a bunch of shit off the workbench, and it just deposits 2 Pint onto it. Is there anything that you need that we can get for you to help?
And I think I have everything here.
Okay.
I just kind of gotta, I can, and it's very clear, like, she is flustered after everything, and it's like, it's just, I can do this. It's fine. I think I have everything.
Okay.
I'll let you know.
Okay. Take a breath.
Okay.
We're okay.
Yeah. We're okay.
All right. Kind of with a very, like, gentle and affectionate kind of like pat on the side of 2 Pint's unconscious little face. I think Tanal will kind of like give Vilra her space a little bit and start looking through the apartment for just like some basic supplies to help patch up Vilra, like looking for like food, water, going around making sure everyone's hydrated and fed.
I think Gila will follow behind Tanal and definitely try to press you about what we just listened to. No, it's seeing how you reacted, and also just Gila, forever the journalist, needing to do follow-up questions around particularly how you're doing given who was on the message.
Mm-hmm.
Are we going to talk about it?
I don't know what there is to really talk about, you heard it.
I heard it, and I know you have a lot more family to lose in all this, and I know how you are. Well, I don't know how you are, but I know what I see, and how much your sister and your family mean to you. And I need to know that you're going to be okay, and that I know I'm great at listening.
Off the record?
It's a record.
I know that nothing that happened back home was none of it was our fault. They were drilling and they caused the accident and they caused everything that's happened on that planet as long as we can remember. But my whole life, the only reason that I had to stay out of trouble and to stay off their radar was because I knew that it would be worse for us than it would be for most people if we drew their attention. And now we've drawn their attention. The fact that my parents weren't on that list, I don't know if that means that they're safe or something else. And it's kind of, as much as I'm happy to be here with all of you and I want to make sure that everyone here is okay, it's kind of killing me that I'm not there. Because I did this to them. I put them in this position, and now I can't keep them safe.
Tanal, you didn't do this. You didn't put them in this position. Everything we have done up until this point has been a reaction. We have been on the back foot the entire time. You cannot, and she goes to grab your head. You cannot hold all of this by yourself. I know you are the strongest and the bravest and the prettiest out of all of us, but you can't hold all that by yourself.
I don't think I'm very brave.
The bravest person I know. You make me braver.
Well, I don't feel like I've had much work to do in that department.
Processing a lot of stuff. That's why it's my job as your friend. I'm not real good at a lot of things, but I am good at this. If you need to talk to somebody, I'm always here to listen, and I always have your back. We're gonna fix everything. And if we break it more, we'll fix it again. Your family, our friends have all given us a chance to do something to make sure this doesn't happen again.
Thank you. It's nice to hear that.
If you miss them, reaches into their pack and pulls out their little camera. Every moment of our lives of taking pictures. We are never more than a button click away.
I think that at this point, the very kind of stoic mask starts to crack all the way, and is just gone as her eyes are kind of brimming with these tears, but she kind of swallows, takes a deep breath, squeezes Gila's hand a little bit tighter. Thank you.
You don't have to be perfect, and you don't have to always appear to be the strongest person here. I know who you are.
Yeah. I'll be okay. I just
I know you will, but when you're not, and then just squeezes your hand.
My God. Yeah, it kind of until now I thought that they were all gone.
Just hope now.
But now I know I've still got something to fight for.
Always. It's important to have something or someone, to fight for.
Thank you. And we'll kind of, I think kind of will go for a hug if Gila allows this.
Yeah, a brief moment of tension and then leans
Very
into it.
Goes for a hug and kind of rests her chin on the top of Gila's head before letting them go, because she knows that they're not the biggest hugger.
Blushing the face completely. So what do we need to find? What's the things that people... Water, right? That's the thing, George. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, right. Okay, and we'll kind of go back. I think the two of them just helping out in the kitchen area.
You find plenty of everyday items and basic consumables. Absolutely not a problem for that. Vilra, you've got 2 point on the bench. Got everything there. You don't necessarily have to hear every word. Not that the room's that big, or that that big that you can't. But you don't need to hear every word to feel what they're feeling, because it washes over you. Maybe sometimes you almost wish you could turn that off, but for the moment it seems very difficult to stop yourself from feeling what others around you are feeling, both the good and the bad. And as you stare down at 2 Pints chassis, no permanent damage because it was a stun blast, but it did overload some relays. You actually could replace a few things while you're in here. And you even have another droid nearby if you wanted to borrow some parts to make sure that 2 Pint gets up and running.
Oh yeah.
You did
whatever
roll
needs doing.
You did roll at the end of the last session. It was a very good roll. It's everything that you need to get 2 Pint up. But the other thing that you're feeling is not just what you can feel from your friends, but the fact that this droid, this automaton with a very distinct personality, very strong personality, sacrificed themselves to protect you. A very organic sentiment. How do you feel about that?
I think it's one of those where 2 Pint has always been one of her best friends, just like everyone else has always been her best friend. And it's just one of those where, like, 2 Pint has always been different, but still a droid. Not that that's a bad thing, but, like, knows that they have programming they follow, but, like, the fact that a droid has an artistic side makes them special. And that when this happened, it was like, oh, there's a lot going on here. And I think she just kind of feels a little confused, but in like a curious way, not in a bad way. In a like, how can we explore this a little bit more without, experimenting on a friend? Because at the end of the day, 2 Pint is a friend. A best friend, obviously.
And in the time it takes Tanal and Gila to get some food and water, maybe some fresh clothes as needed, you complete the repair, close up 2 Pint's panel, power 2 Pint back on, and 2 Pint, you wake up. But not the sort of refreshed, online sequence when you've been hooked up to a charging station and are a bit powered up again. You feel terrible, but you're awake, and you're not in the communications yard. You're back in the homestead.
What happened? What's going on? Are you okay? Is everyone okay?
I'm fine. Everyone's okay. Yeah, we made it back. We're at the homestead. You kind of jumped in and saved me. You took the shock when the stun, and yeah. And you went down, and I had to baby Bjorn you, and then Tanal did. Yeah. Thank you.
Right? No, of course. I do it for any of you at all, of course. The information about your mom, did we get it?
Yeah, well, no, not that. We got something else. And she looks over at Tanal and Gila, and it's like, we got something more recent. It was like a message, and it felt cryptic. I mean, for good reason. We can replay it for you. We're going to have to re-listen to it anyways, to figure out what's being said and why and how and to who. A lot of it was to Tanal, but it was a lot of her family. It's complicated.
Right. And you two looking at Gila and Tanal, you're good too? What happened to you?
Fine. You're the only one who took a dive, 2 Pint.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know that because I was unconscious, so I was just checking.
Yeah, no, we're fine.
Okay, good.
We're glad you're okay.
Right.
And as you take
she hugs 2 Pint, like she fully just like embraces the little guy.
Awkward pat on the head.
Yeah.
In response, yeah.
And as you take in the room, the workshop, 2 Pint, and then you look over and you see on the bench on Dale's bench beside you the collapsed, shiny, black surface of an Imperial Seeker probe droid just sitting there. 4 little octopoid arms, all at janky angles, sharp articulators at the end, menacing looking. And it's just sitting there, its panel ripped open, components exposed, wires exposed. Somebody did surgery on this thing. But this is your chance to see one up close when it's not trying to stun you into oblivion.
Absolutely. I think 2 Pint is gonna choke down whatever revulsion a droid can feel at seeing the innards of another droid. And it's gonna be like, right, so we did you check for like a tracker? Make sure there's no tracker in it that's gonna keep us our location?
I'm pretty sure I did that. Yeah.
You guys
I
go
feel like I destroyed everything as much best I could.
Good start.
Yeah, no, yeah, and I'm sorry, I forgot you don't like seeing this.
It's fine. You know, I feel like at a certain point, you get used to it, right? Sure.
I mean, you don't have to. This is gross. And so...
No, I'm curious now.
Okay.
Do you guys think its memory banks are intact?
That's what I was hoping. And that maybe Rix might know something about it, too. I did do a pretty vicious number on it and borrowed some parts. But I'm hoping we can recover some info.
Do we want to tell Rix about this? He was pretty explicit about us not getting in trouble. And I'm not a doctor,
we didn't
but this
get in
feels like trouble.
Did we get in trouble? Did we get caught? Are we in trouble now?
Well, we definitely brought it to the house.
Yeah, but I think we brought trouble to the house the minute we showed up here.
Right. Maybe.
So it's perpetual trouble?
Happy middle ground. We dig around in here. If there's anything important, incriminating, then we tell. If it's fine and it's unhelpful to us, then we can just be like, nothing happened and everything is okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Plus, it's always better to ask forgiveness than permission. I think we'll be okay.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, kind of how we grew up, right?
Yeah. Jedi are supposed to be really like magnanimous and tranquil and chill, right? So
yeah, he's been annoyingly tranquil. Like,
yeah,
I would love it if he
mad. So
no, he needs to emote. I feel like there's a lot of pent up in there.
Okay, we're breaking a rule, another one. That's fine.
Sorry, Gila. I'm so sorry.
We've been breaking the law this whole time.
I've been trying to look past that. My anxiety is through the roof. We're doing fine.
We're doing yes. We'll go to bed in a minute and just process and yeah. You want me to start the dissection now? Sorry, 2 Pint, that was the wrong word. The investigation into the droid now?
I can help.
Okay. Yeah.
Now, Gila, you know that the transmission was a bit scrambly. Could have just been due to distance, could have been due to the fact that the comms tower was old and partially damaged and maybe was having difficulty translating it. But you know that you would need somebody with the ability to maybe run it through a scrubber to see if they can clean it up anymore. Out of the group, is there anybody you think would be able to do the best job of that?
What skill would that be?
It's under communications.
Communications?
Which is under mechanical, which is operating and sending and receiving and doing all things. Even though it sounds very much like a computer program repair, this is specifically communications. Is specifically its own skill where it's using communication systems on the ground, on ships, sending and receiving. It's also how you can both send and overcome jamming signals. So it's just a specialized type of electronic skill, but they put it under mechanical because it sort of falls under the reign of starship operations and things like that.
I have some points in comm scan.
You do.
I can give it the old college try.
Okay.
while they're doing that in a desperate need to feel like I'm contributing in some way.
So while you're doing that, I'm going to get you to roll comm scan, and I'm going to get either Vilra or 2pint to roll droid programming repair under technical to do an examination of the probe droid.
Is yours better than mine? You're muted.
Oops. What's yours at?
I have 2D plus 3.
Yeah, I will help you.
Okay, cool.
Just remember, May, the player, if your droid program repairs at 2D plus 3, if you put 2 character points into it when it was 2D plus 2, that would have bumped it up to 3D.
Okay, so...
Just letting you know that may not be 100% correct, but just, yeah, you may have actually go, because once you get to plus 2 pips, the next time you put character points into a skill, when you increase it, it bumps it to the next highest die.
Okay, so I have 3D then.
There you go.
Okay. My bad. Okay, no 1s or 6s, but...
Right.
12 total.
Okay. And Gila, your communications?
I got a 14.
Okay. Do either of you want to spend a character point on those rolls?
Do I know the difficulty of the roll? Yeah, I'll spend a character point.
The devil. 18.
Okay.
13. He's got a 1.
Okay. The secret droid is offline. It's pretty damaged. You can find that it does have a homing beacon that it can activate as part of its routines. The homing beacon is offline. But you're not able to overcome the damage that you've done to try and access any of its memory banks. You had to salvage too many of its components to ensure that 2pint came back up online successfully. And you've also been a bit vigorous in both your disabling in the initial and in your salvaging on the second, that some components are a bit unrecoverable now, and so they won't be able to be brought back online that way. So whatever secrets the secret droid has, it will keep as far as that goes. What do you do with the secret droid?
At this point, I guess it's like, well, I can't recover anything. I mean, should we just try to ditch it somewhere innocuous? I won't lie, I didn't think about this part.
That's okay. Yeah, I think we got to try to get rid of it, but I don't know if it'll be super safe to dispose of it in town right now. I think maybe we wait a little while, lay low.
Is it possible to dismantle it completely so it's just parts?
Yeah, I think I can do that. And that way we can have some spare parts in case something happens with you or if we need them.
Right, and parts are easier to drop in an ocean than a body.
Yeah, we can get rid of the stuff that makes it look super imperial. Because, wires are wires and gears are gears.
And I could, I don't know how helpful it would be, but I could give it a paint job, too, so it's not,
Yeah, I think that would be good.
Vilra's been taking apart droids since she was a child. There's no role needed for that. And with 2pint's assistance, you can both dismantle and disguise what remains of the secret droid. It'll take you a bit of time to do that, but it's not a problem to do.
Okay. Can I add, secret droid parts to my inventory type of thing?
You could, but it's for the most part, it's just droid components. There's nothing particularly specially unique. It's just the programming itself and the few of the specific Imperial components. There is a stun blaster that's built into its components. If you decided that you wanted to transfer that stun blaster to another droid in the future, you would have the parts to do that.
Okay.
It would require a bit of modification if you want it to be retractable or not, so that it's hidden or just blatant and visible all the time.
Too bad we may have a project to work on later.
I love a project.
Mm-hmm.
So write down that piece as a reminder, and we can come back to that later. You've got your portable vid equipment and hologram projector, Gila, and you've got it. You can put the audio just into a headset so that only you're listening to it and not re-traumatizing the group for a second time. But you can also be skipping and moving ahead and trying to do it. And then you really dig into it, and you do so with that methodical nature that you have that really allows you, that you learn from your mother about how to analyze transmissions, how to not just analyze the words and the tone of the voice, but then also, are there messages within the messages? And yeah, it's quite clear that there's a lot of warning in the words that they've sent you in terms of what they're experiencing, and the short answer is they're telling you to stay away. That it's not safe to come to Salachet right now. So they must know some of what you know, or know enough to know that it's just not right. And they would know that the last thing that Mila would have seen as she flew the grain freighter was your Republic dropship chasing the sky and breaking orbit. And so they know that you would have escaped the planet. But it's not just the words and not just the tone. It's the transmission itself. It was garbled. Normally there'd be a holographic piece. Now maybe they didn't want to show their faces, which would, from a safety standpoint, would make sense. But it almost seems like they could have just disabled the holograph, and instead they still sent the holographic transmission with it. But they didn't use it to broadcast holograms. They needed the bandwidth on the signal to send it, but the message wasn't that complicated. So why do they need extra bandwidth for both audio and video? And as you dig into it, disassembling the signal and the communications, drawing on those skills learned from your mother over all those years, listening to transmissions from the Republic, listening to broadcast day, and listening to those reports from the wild. And that's when you realize it, Gila. There's not just one signal here, there's two. There's a second message.
Takes a moment kind of to pause. There's like a moment of like giddiness, like little stimming, and then sort of looking around to make sure no one's looking, and then presses the button.
It comes through as a deep, booming sound. Is it speech? Is it music? It's almost like multiple voices over top of each other, but you can't understand the language of what's being said. But there's something else here. And I want you to roll languages under your knowledge to see if you can identify what's being spoken. There's a difficulty to identify the language, and there's a harder difficulty to translate it.
That is 18.
So after a few moments, you realize why it's so difficult to figure what this is. And after a few moments, you realize why you can't understand the words, but you know what language it is. There's a message being spoken in Ithorian. The Ithorians, tall, hammerhead aliens with a very specific physiology. Ithorians are known and very skilled botanists. You remember seeing Ithorians in West Crag when you were very young. Presumably they were there helping with some of the agricultural work that was being done for a time. There wasn't an Ithorian that lived permanently in the settlement. You'd remember that. But you do remember because of that voice, because of that booming voice, that they have to wear translators on their necks because if they got a very specific physiology, because Ithorians have 2 mouths and they have 4 throats. Their language is impossible to replicate for you and very, very hard to understand. without a translator.
I think Gila has that light bulb moment of like, I need to go see it. I need to go see him. You see a droid in a bar. Grabs the thing, and does it look like everyone's busy?
Vilra and Two Pint are busy with the secret droid, absolutely. And Tanal,
I think Tanal is like sat at like the little kitchen table. I think that she's taken a little bit of like the extra paint that they had used to fill up Two Pints canisters, and is like currently like kind of like finger painting this like little bird design on the inside of the shoulder pauldron. So not like doing something, but something very like passive.
I think Gila has like crazy eyes. It's definitely coming over. Like puts like the data pad down. Message.
Whoa.
There's a there's a second there. So there's the first message which you heard and made you very sad. That made me very sad. But there's also a second message that's on there that we need to decipher, and like grabs the side of your face. We need to go speak to the droid in the bar about the thing.
Gila, you're a genius.
Thank you.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Oh gosh, do we think is it going to be safe to do it there? We got to know what it says, right?
What language was it? I assume we can hear this because
Yeah. And Gila relays everything that Jason had said to you all.
Yeah, I think you see Vilra kind of get excited for a moment and then sort of slouch, thinking maybe it was Iktochi and maybe it was her dad. But it's like, no, yeah, we for sure need to figure out what that is.
Right.
Jason, I have a question on the secret message. Is there like metadata? Am I able to see who put this on here?
Get the IP address, actually.
yeah, it originates from Salashe. It came from the same transmission at the same time with the same timestamp as the message you got from the family.
Gotcha. Okay. We need to go like now.
It's sleep is important for you all. It's nighttime. Will it be weird if we are there at night? I don't know how it works.
We're young people who drink alcohol. I assume we can be there. We need to strike while the iron's hot. Before they figure out anything. We just broke into a facility, which was very illegal, and then we have a droid right here. We need to do things before people figure out that we're doing stuff.
I agree. I think especially at night, there might not be as many people there, not as many prying eyes.
Right? Okay.
I think I shouldn't go.
Okay.
I feel like, I mean, he always keeps saying that I'm this flame in the night, that I'll attract attention.
Russell doesn't take baths, Vilra. He doesn't take baths. You don't listen to people who don't take baths.
I think he bathes. He didn't smell. I don't know. Do Jedi not smell? Is that a Jedi thing too? Are they just so tranquil that dirt doesn't settle on them? Like,
probably.
Wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. I'll go. I'll just wrap up again, and we won't sit at the D-bag table.
We can't be apart no more. Last time we were apart, something bad happened.
Yeah, I don't like it either. I don't know. I get nervous.
We can be nervous together.
Okay. Our anxiety will bring us together as friends. Yes.
Yes. Right.
So you all head out?
The bar.
Heading back to the cantina.
Oh, do we want to drop off some of this Imperial-looking droid part in a dumpster somewhere? Like on the way? I mean, we painted it too, so that helps.
Painted it. I think that could be arranged.
Yeah, just kind of dump it for a second.
It's, whoop, just sprinkled droid parts around town. I don't think anybody will will notice. I think it'll be fine. I think we should definitely avoid like the dumpster near the repair depot, because if anyone's gonna recognize Imperial parts, it's gonna be the two nationalists over here.
Yeah, the stinky ones, the true
from that.
stinkers.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think. Well, and also I'm keeping a lot of the droid parts because in case 2 Pint gets hurt again, we can use them.
Oh, that's really smart.
Yeah, and I'll just hold on to those. But some of it, like the case or some of the like higher end technology that I've definitely destroyed to hell and back.
You did a good job on it.
Thank you. It's really easy to break things.
I'm sure a lot easier than putting them back together, right?
Yeah. I mean, my dad would say, like, you learn by your mistakes. And when I was little, I made a lot of mistakes. So, yeah, we'll just throw some in a dumpster as we go. Just kind of,
Yeah. It's impressive.
Okay, so we're gonna stop and dump things in the garbage, and then we're
Yes,
gonna
on
go
the
to
way.
the bar.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And we'll
It'll
talk
be
to the translator droid.
Yeah.
Do we have money for it? He gave us money.
We have some money. I
We
think
have some money.
Yeah, I have money. I have money.
we'll figure
Dale
it
gave you some
out.
credits. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Jason, I
Okay.
would also like to, when we go to the bar, get back my recording device that I slipped underneath the table.
Yeah, you sure
That's
did.
I
right.
forgot about that.
Yeah, I didn't forget about it. I was waiting to hear.
I forgot. Oh man, that's gonna be so good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bundle up.
Let's roll out.
Updated clothes. Put some gear. Put some parts in places that you're going to drop along the way. The street is quiet, but there's still a little bit of activity because Somber's never 100% asleep because it's still all night. And there are night shifts, of course, and the workers who came off day shift, they sometimes don't go to sleep right away because they want to go to the canteen and have a drink. They want to go out and go shopping, and they want to go do their piece. So there's still a bit of activity, a few droids, a few of the civilians walking the streets even at night. So it's not uncommon to see people out. So it doesn't make you stand out more or less. You're able to drop off some parts as you go. It's not a problem. Bypass the infirmary, bypass the repair depot, bypass the surplus store, a few of the other locations. All the market stalls are shuttered for the night. And then before you get to the landing pad at the south end, you see the glow of the signage of the cantina as it brightens up the darkness and acts as a beacon to lure everybody in. You head inside?
Yeah, and we'll walk with purpose. I don't want to make it seem like we're nervous. So act like we do this all the time and that we know what we're doing.
I think Tanal, like, shoulders relax a little bit, very casually just kind of like puts one arm around Gila's shoulders and they just kind of walk along.
And the cold night air is replaced by that warmth, the warm air that spills out as you pass through the doors that slide open, and you step back inside and you hear some not super lively music, but music still playing. Low chatter. There's some people at the tables, a bunch of the civilian workers, a few administrative people. They do allow droids in here, so there's a couple of droids parked at a couple of tables as well. The reserved table is empty at this hour. And there's another human bartender, different from the one that you saw last time because you were there before. And then still the serving droid is operating as well. And then off in the one side, in the corner, on a pedestal, the torso and up figure of a 3PO protocol droid mounted to the base with a little control terminal in the front to allow for a pay station and the signage translation services. So 3 of you and a droid all come in together. Where do you head off right away?
I feel like maybe it's suspicious if we head right for the droid. It's like maybe we sit, get a drink, and then stroll over.
Strolling is good. Yeah.
Hey, yeah, that's fine. I'm fine. This is fine. I can wait.
Like, literally, like 3 minutes. I think
3 minutes.
I know, that's a long time for you, but why don't we get a table, like, or sit on the bar side near the droid first? And then order some drinks, complain about work on the hydrocarbon thing. I don't know. Maybe not go that far. Maybe just sit and relax for a second and then go, oh, and walk over to the thing.
Yeah, good.
We can be normal.
We are normal. Okay, so at the bar. Can I just skitter over real fast and grab the thing underneath the table?
As 3 normal organics and their droid companions sit at the bar, absolutely. The serving droid comes over and will take an order if anybody places one.
I'd like a beer, please.
He gets you a local fermented ale and any other drinks, and there is some food available as well if anybody wants to have something else other than what Dale had in his place, which was not terribly exciting in terms of.
I feel like that guy, he's just got like cabinets full of Cliff Bars, so I feel like Tanal will also
like he thinks like, cabbage is exciting.
Yeah, and it's like, what? Okay, sure.
Yeah, so you can get a hot plate or a hot soup, absolutely.
Yeah.
People look up as you come in. Just make note of the new faces, but don't. Then they go right back to their drinks and their conversation. And within a few moments, the droid comes over and brings your refreshments and things that you have. And the 3PO unit on the pedestal is just a short distance away on the back wall, just sitting there dormant, waiting.
How many minutes has it been?
2 minutes 45 seconds.
God, I'm gonna die.
Buddy, just like take a deep breath. I feel like you're all overthinking this a little bit. When was the last time that any of you were in like an actual bar?
Today?
I mean like before today or yesterday.
This is the second time. The first time was when we went.
Yeah. My dad didn't want me to drink, so.
Alcohol dulls the senses. I don't like my senses being dulled.
I would love if my senses were dulled right now. I'm going to be extremely real about that.
Oh, yeah, because you have the thing. Yeah, drink lots of beer.
It tastes... Have you ever, like, gotten flour on your tongue?
Yeah, it's drinking bread. Yeah.
And then, like,
it's okay.
Chugged a bunch of water, but there were also bubbles.
Yeah, that about summarizes it. That's kind of the experience.
Yeah.
Sounds awful.
Gila, if this is the conversation that happens in bars, why would anyone ever go into one?
You want to try it? G holds out the mug. Yeah.
Oh boy, no! There's a skin on it. Okay, that's fine. Oh yeah. Okay, yeah. That's definitely fermented.
Yeah.
People drink this on purpose.
And I think some of them even enjoy it. Yeah.
Okay.
I can't say I'm there yet.
I don't know that I want to be there yet, but I sure do enjoy alcohol and beer beverages as a fellow worker. Nailed it.
Real smooth. Yeah. I'm going to just drink this and look stern. Everyone in here seems stern.
Velra, do you want my tea? You want to try it?
No, I'll drink this.
You sure? I don't mind.
No, I paid for it. I'm going to do this. I'm
okay.
Enjoying it.
Listen, it's an acquired taste, but it's also one that you don't have to waste time acquiring if you don't want to.
No, it's fine. I'm going to do this.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
I'm proud
Thank
of
you,
you. You're
though.
very brave.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So brave.
hmm We lived in a
So
town where
good.
the whole thing was just harvesting grain, and none of you guys had before today. Okay.
No, I really like cookies, and that was kind of my go-to for
Oh,
vices.
you know, that's fair. I guess, yeah, it's just alcohol. The flip side is pastries, so all right,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Since mom's been gone, dad's kind of always been gone, so I didn't know it was a thing I was allowed to do. So,
And I was
Yeah.
specifically told not to. You know.
I was also specifically told not to, but
Yeah, but you are very good at doing the thing you're specifically told not to.
yeah,
you are
it's a
very
skill.
skilled at
It takes, it takes a lot of work to,
Yeah. My
be
dad didn't
such
want
an
me like
adept.
handling like tools and mechanics and stuff like that.
Oh,
if
that's
I-
also a really good point. The worst thing that I would do is like fall off a thumper, but
That's still bad.
I mean, yeah, but it's only bad if you spook them and then they run at you, and then it gets a little bit, you got to be light on your feet. But
It's been 3 minutes.
it has been 3 minutes. Yeah. Okay.
God.
Cool. Slow, casual, and I think
Right.
that knowing that the rest of them are gonna kind of be doing very important things, Tanal kind of like angles herself so she has done the like army veteran thing of like, I'm sitting in a spot where I can see all the exits, and is kind of just watching all the entrances and exits while everybody else does whatever they're gonna do.
Well, I was gonna say, I think Vilver stays at the table with you.
Okay, cool.
And is doing the sort of the same thing, like pretending to be nonchalant. Like we're talking, but also just kind of keeping
Yeah.
an eye out.
Gila
So
speed walks.
2 pint, do you go with Gila then?
Oh yeah, zoom
Yeah.
in behind Sheila.
Yeah. Okay. You get up there. There's a basic access terminal. It is not complicated. You have to put in some credits, and then it will give you so much data of translation services for it. There is a headset that you can put on if you wanted it to be private, or you can unplug it and just have it be broadcast to anybody that's nearby in the cantina.
Headphones on and then connect the aux so that 2 point can listen.
You got it. Absolutely. Put in some credits. System comes up online. The 3PO unit comes up, and the photoreceptors light up, and the arms articulate and move around. Oh, here we go again. I am Q3PO, Human Cyborg Relations. What dribble am I going to be listening to today?
I don't know what the dribble is, but here's what I have. Thank you so much for your time today.
And the 3PO unit looks at Gila for a moment, and then looks down on its pedestal. Oh, a 2P beautification unit. Well, I can see that your programming is faulty, as the droid looks around the cantina.
Yes, it is. And it's great.
And you load up the transmission. This is Ithorian. This is a very unrefined accent. Definitely not core world. Well, this sounds like a very boring conversation. I should probably just walk away from this whole set of circumstances that I'm in. Oh, wait, I can't. I don't have any legs. Well, I guess here we are then.
So is the shtick free, or am I being charged for that as well?
And then the Q3PO starts to translate in its very warm and fuzzy voice in your ears and to 2 pint, translating the Ithorian voice into basic so that you can understand. And what you hear is some very pointed, as if being recited quickly, information on a series of systems. There's a outpost. There's an outpost here. It was meant to be temporary structure, never reclaimed. Probably still has gear stashed. Make sure you check for monitoring equipment. And then on this system, there was a temporary a forward operating base. There was a couple of skirmishes. Again, probably has some equipment left behind. Few hot spots. There could still be locals that salvaged the area for both weapons and parts. Be careful. This was a recovery station. And after the war, Uncle Rex used it to set up a few of his friends. That'll probably be a good one to check out. And this one, on another system that he gives here, I was stationed here for a while. It was near the front. We moved quickly. The moment the front line shifted, we would go, and we weren't keeping inventory of what we left behind. Some of these planets are remote. Some of them will be under Imperial control. Some of them might be under local control. But if you need a rest and refuel station that isn't a starport, and isn't a major city, and maybe is a bit private, these are the ones that your uncle still used from time to time, and they might still be out there. It's all I can give you right now. So be careful and stay safe. And then the transmission ends.
Hila puts all that into their pad and
That
kind of
is
looks over.
that
at
is the
Supine.
worst tour guide I've ever listened to. And I've listened to a Rhodian agricultural tour that was nothing but swamps.
Got a lot of sass in you, Q. I like that. I now understand why you don't have legs, but I like that. Thank you so much for your services.
Just before we go, is there anything else you noticed about the conversation beyond just like what the words mean? Like, at all, any insight you might have with all your vast experience as a translator?
All my vast experiences staring at this corner of the cantina versus that corner of the cantina. Oh, you mean the experiences I had wandering outside? What is outside? Is it day? Is it night? Is it temperate? I don't know. I haven't been outside in about 8.3 years. And the last time I was outside is because I was in the cargo container that brought me inside.
Do you want legs?
Do you want an actual aesthetic face?
No.
Well, then that's one more thing we don't have in common, because yes, I would like legs.
Alright, I'll put it on the to-do list. But anyways, back to my question.
Wait. And what is it that a beautification droid that operates on a repulsor lift knows about legs? Do you know about articulation? Do you know about weight differentials? Do you know about servos? And how to ensure equal hip equalization so that the walking is in fact balanced? What do you know about those things?
I got a guy.
Ah, they got a guy. What do you got? No legs.
Well, I wish you luck on your Ithorian farming tour.
Don't know if that's sass or not, but I'm gonna read it as you being kind to me. Looks the headset.
You do great work, even though you're a little mean. Bye! And pulls out too.
Pull out. And the droid runs for a while. The credits are still there, and then eventually, when the system ends, there's a discharge loop, and then it powers down the 3PO, and Q3PO is looking and watching and making some further commentary and just kind of like looking around, and then just drops down again. Photoreceptors go dark, just sitting on the pedestal waiting for the next translation.
So how'd it go?
So there, lots of good stuff. I don't know if we should talk here. So we have a place to go to get stuff, and that stuff is in a place, and that information has been relayed via a relative of yours, Tanal. Look at my notes. An Uncle Rex.
Yeah, it's gonna be good stuff. I think. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We did good?
Yeah. Yeah, you did really good.
I drank the whole ale.
You also did really good, Belra.
Yeah, can we go? I don't want to do this again.
A sec, I need to grab something before we go. Gets on the floor and kind of crawls underneath the table and grabs the thing that the little recording device.
So,
beautiful.
Gila, if you're going to try and retrieve that quietly, I want you to use your sneak. It's not so much that you're sneaking in shadows or hiding because you're walking to the cantina, but this is just you being your flying casual, essentially, to walk by the table and retrieve your recording rod from the spot that you tucked it away.
So one thing Gila's good at doing is being ignored.
God. Well, Gila's doing that. Can 2 Pint just look and see if anyone is, like, watching the table?
You can roll your perception, 2 Pint, absolutely.
It's a 19.
Okay.
That's an 8.
Okay. The droid, 2 Pint, is not watching you because the droid is offline, but that's because you're looking at the droid because you keep looking back to Q3 because it's a very curious droid and you're very fascinated with that, and so you're not really paying attention to the rest of the cantina as you keep looking back to the droid. But you're doing your part and you're keeping watch, which is exactly what you should be doing. So that corner of the cantina, totally secure. There's people at the tables, Gila. There's a few interactions, some conversations. The door opens and closes. A few people come and go at this late hour, and then you're able to just kind of make your way around with your cup. And there's a typical cantina. There's pictures and holes on the walls and things you can go and read and look at. It's almost like a little bit of a living history of Somber and different sort of stages of things. And it seems like it's kind of fallen off, like the walls kind of continued with a story and the locals have put things up, mementos and things of importance. And then it starts to get more spotty and there's fewer and fewer, and then the wall's still empty at a certain point where nothing else has been put up or added in the ensuing years. And so you're able to kind of walk that wall, which allows you to go right past the reserve table and then reach under, pick up your recording rod, which is still in the spot where you clipped it and left it in there. And you can pocket it and just keep on going.
But meet up with the friends.
Get it together.
Okay, we can go.
Head outside. Away from the warmth and the music and the warm food and the bubbly, odd-tasting drinks. Back out into the night air. Where are you headed?
Homestead, right?
Probably a good idea.
Yeah. I mean, where else would we go?
We go to the outpost that we just learned about.
We have to figure out where it is. Wait, what outpost?
It said in the transmission that there was an outpost with a bunch of gear and stuff there that we could possibly get our hands on. We can do it in the morning. It's just, I don't know, I'm really excited. But it can wait. I have other things I can distract myself with.
Leave the cantina, start to head back to the homestead. There are a pair of Imperial snowtroopers that are on patrol coming down the road, and they are stopping and talking to some of the locals as they're passing by. So it seems that they're doing a check, doing an inspection. You can continue on down that way towards them, or you can try and go around if you want to pick a different path. They don't appear to have noticed you. You're still far enough down the main street that you're not part of their attention at this point.
All right, everybody detour. Kind of like very casually, just, you know, like, oh, I'm just going down this is where I'm supposed to be going.
There's plenty of side streets. Even in the day that you had before you made your night expedition, you had enough time to explore a bit of Somber that you totally know where you want to go, and take a couple of side streets off the beaten path, away from the main road and the main activity. Heading back towards the homestead, bypassing the patrol. Everybody roll perception for me.
I exploded.
Yay!
15.
12.
7.
12.
You hear the steps of somebody approaching from one of the side alleys on the side streets, and are able to just kind of like pull up a little bit and slow everybody down. And as you see an older human walk out into the path, and he's got a couple of big suspenders with a bunch of gear strapped to them. He's got a belt on, it's all jangling. And he just pauses and kind of glances at you for a moment and keeps on walking in, then stops. And he looks. He goes, "Oh, hey, it's you." And Gila, you recognize the old man that you saw on the street as you were watching the star pattern, watching the bounty hunters exit, as he was looking at Vilra. And as he looks at Vilra again. "How's your night?" And he stops now to talk to you all.
I'm pretty well. We just had a little alcohol. We're looking to head back to our domicile to get some rest. How's your day been?
It's been busy, but it's been okay. I didn't get a chance to ask you before, and he gestures past you and he points at Vilra. He says, I haven't seen a T7 hydrospanner probably in about 10 years. That's a high quality tool. And he's pointing, and under Vilra's poncho and her scarf and her hood and everything covered up, there's a bandolier with some tools hanging off of it that's still tucked, that's still visible at various parts where the fabric parts. And he says, Are you working with a Wookiee?
No, I have before.
Yeah, me too. Great mechanics.
Oh,
Great mechanics.
The best. Yeah.
Your Wookiee isn't here, are they?
No.
Oh, that's probably good. It's probably not great for a Wookiee mechanic to be on world right now.
How come?
Yeah, why?
Well, they're just known to sometimes have problems with the Empire.
Yeah, they can be, my experience, testy.
And I don't know how long ago it was you worked with your friend, but the Empire has blockaded their homeworld. I don't know if you know that.
No, I didn't know that.
And he steps a little closer. He's still having a conversation. He's jangle of tools and belts and things. He's got an older face and a little bit of a sort of grayish beard.
I'm sorry, I never got your name.
Oh, I'm Brim. Good to meet you.
Brim, nice to meet you.
And then he sort of looks to you, waiting for the response.
Yeah, I wrote down a fake name. Hold on. Oh, my name is Zessie.
Zessie.
Mm-hmm.
And friends.
Yeah.
Long day, lots of repairs. The geothermal plants keep me busy. Are you did you come in on the last ship? Are you with the crew? Are you repairing one of the vessels?
Hoping to, and gotta prove my worth.
Hmm. Yeah, the local freighter pilots are could be a little ornery, but there's work to be had if you're a good mechanic, if you know your way around.
I mean, I don't want to. I mean, I'm pretty good.
He smiles.
Really good.
I used to be pretty okay too, but after they impounded the bays, and he kind of gestures a thumb back the way where he was walking from, there wasn't much for an old ship hand like myself to work on anymore, and so now they just got me working on the geothermals
You miss
Oh.
it?
every day.
Yeah, it's I mean, ships are the best. They're fun.
Yeah, yeah. What what were you last flying on?
Uh,
Tanal kind of like, even though she hasn't had anything to drink, like with a slightly like exaggerated stumble step, kind of like steps up and like kind of leans like makes like she's having to hold herself up on Vilra's shoulders and is like, "Hey,
oh,
ma'am, you seem really great, but we're all exhausted, and I gotta get home so we can figure out that what was that hangover cure that you were telling me about? Because otherwise I'm just gonna be screwed tomorrow. So we gotta head out. But I hope you have a nice night, man."
it was nice meeting you.
And seeing you again, Prem.
I got a lounge you guys can relax in. The Imperials, they don't always take kindly to drunk and disorderly on the night shift. But I
She's
got a
not disorderly. She's just a little, I mean, tired and tired.
and he nods, and he doesn't get in your way or doesn't try and proceed. And if you guys start to make your way back down the side street again, he says, "I understand. Maybe next time maybe next time I can show you the ship."
Jason, does he have any unusual paraphernalia or symbols or anything on him?
There's no Imperial insignias on his outfit. He's got very much a very classic, mechanics overalls with suspenders with tools and a tool belt. He doesn't appear to be carrying an obvious weapon that you can see, and so he doesn't appear to have any markings of anything.
Does in the conversation we're having, does it feel like he wants us to go with him, or is it just is Gila reading too much into it?
You think that he seems a little excited for a moment because he has, identified some starship tools, which the majority of the people in the Somber settlement don't carry starship tools as part of their regular gear, and so he's found maybe a bit of a kindred spirit in Vilra, and now it makes sense that if he was staring at her so intently before, and he saw the bandolier, and he's also worked with a Wookiee in the past, it made sense that he might have wanted to strike up a conversation at that time, but he wasn't able to do so.
I mean, we could stay for a minute and just kind of.
It's late, and you should get your friend home safe. I totally understand.
We can talk more another time.
Yeah, we'd love to drink alcohol together.
Or just talk about starships.
He says, "Sure, I'm always around. Just ask for Brim."
Brim. Cool.
Prem,
Well, have a
Prem,
nice
Prem,
night.
Prem.
And he watches you walk away, and as you walk back into the night, despite the invitation, despite the conversation around tools, despite the fact that he probably at one time was somewhat of a starship mechanic, and despite the invitation he says to show you a ship, you head back into the night, back to the safety of the homestead, so you can rest. And so that's where we're going to take our 10-minute rest as well, and we will see everybody in a few minutes. Thank you. After your encounter with the local mechanic Brim in the side streets of Somber, where he identified and bonded with a scarf-clad Vilra over the discussion of starship-grade tools and previous Wookiee colleagues they may have once worked with, as he spied Vilra's bandolier peeking out from under her poncho. And the knowledge that Brim once worked in the local repair bays on starships here before the Empire shuttered them. But you were in the streets at night. Imperial snowtroopers were on patrol. They were doing some routine inspections, and so you bypassed that, knowing that you had a lot of things and a lot of people with you that you didn't want discovered, and you hurry back to Dale's homestead and tucked yourself away for the rest of the evening. Now you're back inside.
Okay, well, I had my tools. Tell me what the translation was.
Well, the translation was basically saying that their Uncle Rex, Tanal's Uncle Rex, has a bunch of outposts and things that are not only here, but across the entire galaxy that we can tap into. Instead of going to ports, we have, for lack of a better word, another route to be able to get to the places and things that we need to. We can help and find all these people on this list.
Who's Uncle Rex?
Yeah, who's Uncle Rex?
Yeah.
He was my dad's commanding officer during the war. He helped him get out when things started to get kind of dicey for the remaining clones.
Okay, so good guy.
Good guy. Really good guy.
Okay. Huh. And there's an outpost here.
Yes. So should be some caches and some other supplies that we can probably take advantage of.
Just to clarify, he had each location was a set of coordinates. So it's a set of coordinates for a system, another system, not specifically on Fest. And then he had a quick detail of what might be waiting still there, might still be waiting there on that system if you can get to it. But nothing he didn't because at this point Vin doesn't know where you are, doesn't know that you're on Fest. So the transmission just went out on the comm channel. So he was just giving you a set of coordinates of different outposts and former supply sites that the 501st used during the Clone Wars, so that you would have places that, if it would be helpful, if they're still there, which he doesn't know that they are, he's warning you to be careful. But some of them were out of the way, and he knows that at least a couple of them may have been used by Uncle Rex after the war, as Rex was setting up his network.
How did he speak Ithurian?
I gotten someone else to say all that for him.
Oh, that too.
I don't think
Probably
he speaks.
smart.
I don't think he speaks Ithorian.
I don't think anyone can speak Ithurian.
Exactly.
Huh.
But remind me, when we looked at the comm array, did we manage to also get the other, like, did we manage to pull the communications data from before the array went down? I just don't remember.
Gila was downloading it, recording it as you went, absolutely. So that you had everything, yes.
Okay.
So you got the final transmission sent to you in Azal with the next set of coordinates that he was given by Andy Vimuth back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
And then the additional message that had just been sent out in the past week.
Can we cross-reference those coordinates?
The coordinates that Yuna was given don't correspond to any of the coordinates on your father's message.
Okay.
That makes sense, though. I mean, be in different places, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it would have been convenient.
It really would. I mean, it would have been nice if they had organized, but, there's no time.
Yeah.
Right,
We can organize in the future.
I trust you to do that, Gila.
Okay.
Because you're really good at it.
Thank you.
So, what's our next move then. We're starting to put all these pieces together. I feel like our checklist is getting really long. Stuff to do.
Right. Well, I think in terms of figuring out where we're going next, we have a couple of options now, more than we had before. So the question is where our priorities are. Do we want to gear up, find other people who, might be able to help and to get involved? There's a couple of these outposts that are, I think, listed with friends that he set up who might still be active. Or we could keep following the breadcrumbs and see where Vilder's mom was headed.
I think first, and I like this, one, I do think we should gear up, because we can help better with gear. But we need to figure out how we're leaving first.
Right.
I've got vague plans of steel ship, but I have to find a ship that works. And Brim might have given me some leads, but
we also have to figure out how we're leaving this place. Are we gonna blow up a rig or just go?
I would love to blow up a rig. I would love to, but I don't know.
I mean, would it cause more problems for them if something happened?
There's already problems.
Nice. I know. What I don't want is to create a mess.
Mess and then we leave. Yeah, good point.
Yeah, I'd feel bad.
This place feels like it is on the brink already.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
People are running out of food, and when food runs out, people make decisions, and oftentimes those decisions are rash. Why wait for that moment when we can capitalize on it now and we can help them the way that we helped our people?
But how do we then deal with the fallout of that, though? I mean, if we blow up a rig and then we're like, sorry, we got our own stuff, and we jet off, we're leaving them with a problem that we kind of helped cause. Not that there aren't problems here right now, of course, but,
Yeah. I was going to say something that won't make more Imperials show up, but it sounds like they're doing that anyways.
And we do what we did on Shayless. We get them to follow us.
Take them
They didn't
with
do
us?
anything. We did it. I mean, when they have someone to blame, they won't blame the people here. They'll blame us.
So we take the blame, we head out, and then the people can celebrate?
I don't know about celebrate, but they have a chance.
Celebrate.
Where I think that's all we can really offer is a chance to see that the Empire is not unbeatable. They can fall it.
I mean, it is pretty obvious to me that Rix thinks that, destroying the rig isn't an option, but this community is not a monolith. Could be people here who are thinking along the same lines as us, but they just don't know how to direct that energy. If we find them. And I'll admit, I was a little on edge about Brim just because he seemed real insistent about us going with him, but I don't know. His job got, shuttered up by the Empire, so he might not have any great love for them.
I don't think anyone here has great love for the Empire, except for, Thing 1 and Thing 2 at the, repair bay. But
this place is controlled by fear.
Yeah,
if
I think
replace
people are
fear
scared.
with something else, they'll do what they'll need to do.
Yeah.
I could also look this guy up and see if there's anything suspicious about him.
Yeah. I mean, he didn't call me out in public for having this stuff.
Right.
But I won't lie. that being approached in an alley by a strange man is definitely disconcerting.
Yeah, that was a little...
He knew me.
What was he
and
doing?
He gave me food.
Oh, no, I think that was a different guy, right?
Is that different?
Yeah, that was the fish stall guy. Right? Jason, are we right?
GM question.
Yes.
Yeah.
Gila,
Invoking the spirit of the GM.
you and Vilbur talked to the fishmonger when you were first walking the streets with Dale with his wife, and they were selling fish, and the Imperial officer was coming through, and he was doing inspections for requisitions for the hydrocarbon drill to just buy from the locals for food. And the fishmonger was complaining that the fish are all poisoned and they're not safe to eat.
Gotcha.
And the Imperial officer's answer was to just sell them to the freighter captains for off-world consumption.
Okay, I just confused the man with the other man.
Totally okay. And then later that day, as you had finished your walk and you were looking at the landing pad and everybody's attention was focused, rightly so, on some local bounty hunters, there was a local mechanic who was fixing some of the local homesteads, and he was staring intently at Vilbur because it's as if he recognized her. But you now understand perhaps it's because he recognized her bandolier and the tools she was carrying and recognized them as starship tools.
Gotcha. Okay.
Starship tools that are now going to go in a backpack and not to be worn in public.
Sure thing.
Yeah.
Well, is that suspicious though? If like he sees you with it, and then the next day you very suspiciously don't have it?
I guess I just don't want the wrong people to see it and think that I do mechanic work on starships, because then they're going to ask why I have it when there's no starships that need mechanicking. So, it's just easier.
I think he's an ally. He could have told on us. Real easy.
Yeah, I think he's worth investigating. And we can ask Rix about him too, because maybe he knows. But also I trust Two Pints' investigation a lot as well.
I'm suspicious.
Exactly. Get you a little, magnifying glass and a little hat so you can do some detective work. That'd be so cute, actually. Maybe we sleep on it before we try to solve the planet's problems. Not gonna lie, I got sleepy all of a sudden. Like, really sleepy.
Yeah. Get some rest.
It's been a long night.
Morning. Yeah.
Okay.
But I like the direction we're headed in.
Do all the organics get some sleep? Does somebody stay up with 2 Pint, or do you all just rest while you have the chance?
I mean, we could take turns if we feel like we need to keep watch, but...
Right, I've got it.
Okay.
You can sleep if you want to. But I'll be fine. Up to you all. Don't feel obligated on my account.
Call if you need anything, okay?
Yeah, let us know.
Doesn't take long to fall asleep. It's been a long day, and you've been up most of the night. So much new information, so many things coming your way. Who to trust, where to go, who to look for, and are you even capable of doing this? And then 2 Pint, as the chronometer tips over today, and it's early hours, the light's just starting to peer in through a few of the stained, foggy windows of the homestead. You can hear the sounds of footsteps on the tundra outside, and somebody's approaching the homestead.
Can I peek out a window?
And you see Rix the foreman returning home, re-stained on his new clean overalls, tool belt slung over his shoulder. And he pauses outside and he looks both ways. And then he opens the door, and you'll hear the door to the homestead open.
Hello.
He nods at 2 Point and comes inside. There's a couple of benches and a recliner that you can sort of sleep on in the common room. Somebody or 2 people could have used Dale's bed in his bedchamber, which is very simply appointed, but the bed's big enough for 2 people to sleep side by side. And he comes in. He doesn't worry about waking people up. He tosses his tool belt on the tool bench.
I'm awake.
Starts kicking off his boots. His back is to whoever's in the room for the moment.
How was your night?
They're doubling production. There's going to be 2 shifts running, day and night. The requisition order has increased. And they're going to sweep Somber for any other roughnecks willing to take a contract.
Right. That's not good.
And he looks at you for a moment, 2 Pints, and looks you over. And so you stayed here all night? And he goes
Mostly.
and gets a drink out of the refresher and sits on his stool at the bench.
For the most part, yeah. We went to the cantina to I wanted to talk to the other droid there, and they wanted to drink, so he did that. For sure, did that, yes.
Talk to the droid. The translator?
Yes. Mean droid, but I want to get him legs.
Was the cantina very busy?
I don't know how busy it usually is, but there were a few people there. We were also there kind of late, so there were some people there.
Were there any Imperials in the cantina?
No.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I think though at this point Vilra was kind of slowly awake, but like not saying anything. Like, yeah.
He's having a drink and gets some preformed food bites and gets his Clark bar and eats it. So just a quiet night. Went to the cantina for a drink and a bite, and then right back here again.
Yes.
Why? What about you?
Yeah, enough about us. Well, how was work? How was hydrocarbons?
The Navy must be drinking it as fast as we can drill it.
We met a guy by accident named Brim.
You met Brim.
Yeah, he saw my stuff and said hi.
Your stuff?
Well, I wear my tools everywhere. And gestures to the bandolier.
Right. Brim's good people. He's one of the original locals. He even helped me out a couple of times when I stayed.
Does he know?
Brim knows that Rix is a hard worker and dependable.
Okay. Seemed nice.
Yeah.
Talking about our previous Wookiee friends. Her voice kind of cracks when she says that because she does not know where he is, and so that worries her. And then it's just, in Starship stuff. Maintenance mostly.
Brim used to administer the bays. Help with the repairs. Refuel, resupply. Until they shuttered the base. And then Brim had to transition just to working somber, mostly on the geothermal plants, but he does odd repair work on the side as well. He's too old to get requisitioned for the platform, and so that's fortunate for him.
Great.
But I guess he saw you, right, on your way to the cantina?
On our way back from the cantina.
On your way back from the cantina. But he saw your bandolier, and so you guys had a moment talking about Wookiees and tools.
Yeah, just a quick moment, nothing. Just a quick moment. Well, some might even say it was the most eventful moment of the night. For sure. That one.
And who are you to Brim?
What do you mean? Oh, I'm Zessie. Just thought of an Iktochi name. I shouldn't have, but like, in case someone does eventually see that, horns. But so yeah, I wouldn't give him my real name. That's crazy.
No, of course. We all have to choose who we're going to be or who we need to be in the moment. And he looks at his bench, which was dramatically cleared to make room for a beautification and maintenance droid. And then some very specific droid tools, his tools versus the ones you might have had, that are out on the bench. And he's kind of looking at everything, and he's kind of looking at the pile of things, and he's kind of picking a few things up and putting them back on the bench and moving them back. And then he looks over and sees the holo projector that the snowtrooper brought to be repaired by the local foreman almost ends up on the floor, but it hadn't. And he picks that up safely and brings it back over more onto the bench so that it's in place. And he says, needed some room to do some work?
Yeah. Just a little 2-pint needed some updates to his stuff.
Vilra, I need you to roll your con for me.
And if I don't have that, what is it?
Perception.
Okay.
You got it. Come on.
$14, but I'm only against a Jedi. That's not fair. Yeah, 14. No explosions or no ones. So
He listens to everything and nods, and 2-pint's been speaking, and Gila's added in a few pieces, right? And he just nods to everybody and kicks off his boots and has a drink and a bite to eat. And he's obviously physically looks pretty tired from just the night shift on the rig. He says, yeah, Brim's a good person to know, and he does know a lot about starships. But the cantina can still be a tough spot. Sometimes the Empire will stop by for a drink. You'd want to be careful that you didn't attract any attention to yourself.
we just hung out. I had my first ale. I didn't care for it. And then we kind of left after talking to the droid.
Couple of guys
Just a couple of guys. Yep.
drinking alcohol.
And he nods. We have to decide who we want to be, or we have to decide who we need to be. But we always have to remember that decisions have consequences. The people that you meet and interact with, the people that you talk to, what parts of yourself you share with them. It could help them, it could help you, but it could also put those people at risk. If they are known to associate with you, if there's a problem, if they are asked questions about you in the future, what do they remember? What do they tell them? Were you somebody that they trusted? Or were you someone that they felt uneasy around? Because the Empire's always asking questions. Because the Empire is always looking for anyone that doesn't fit in. Do you understand what I mean?
If you live in fear, then is it really even a choice at that point?
Is the fear justified, Gilo?
It is, but if you let it control you, then what's the point? That's what they want you to do. Be by yourself, not stay connected, not stay informed.
That's true. So then it comes down to how much risk are you willing to take to stay connected, I guess, right?
It's worth risking all of it, in my eyes.
And he reaches into his pocket and he puts like a little black puck on the workbench beside him. And then he picks up his drink and he walks away from the bench and he goes and sits in a very well-worn chair. It's been taped over a couple times in the rough spots where it's split, and sits down and has his drink, and he doesn't say anything else.
What's the black puck?
It looks like it's a little holographic projector.
I could like reach for it. Does he do anything?
Gila, were you reaching for it too?
Yeah, I was just gonna turn it on, see what it was.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, you can go and push play. And a holographic projection comes up. And it's a recording. And it's a recording from on high, looking down at the ground.
Oh, we're cooked, guys.
Damn it.
And it's a recording of a ponchoed, scarfed, unrecognizable like Tochi woman walking side by side with a beautification and maintenance droid from the base of a communications tower to a power station in the communications yard. And it's a recording of the power station and just briefly flashes of light that peek through the windows and the seams in the blast door. And it's a recording of a armored figure with a pauldron running from the command center to the power station right as that blaster fire culminates. Because it's a holo recording taken by not the first seeker droid that you shot on its way to the fence, and not taken by the second seeker droid that was already inside the power station hiding in the ceiling looking down on you, but by the third seeker droid that was flying overhead that when I rolled its sneak dice exploded against your perception checks. And as it recorded these pieces, all of these movement and these figures and the comm station lighting up before the recording ends, as it flashes away on its little repulsor away from the site and the transmission ends, and as it comes up with a broadcast of an Imperial security outlook that appears to have just gone out with a wanted, trespassing, destruction of Imperial property, possession of forbidden weapons. And as it comes up with blown up images of a beautification droid and a scarfed Otakchi and a pauldron wearing mercenary, and as wanted signals come up, and as you look at the recording, and as this has now been broadcast across the local Somber network, and as you look over at Dale as he sits in his chair, like I said, decisions have consequences. And that's where we're going to leave this episode of Quadrilateral Frostfall. I have been your Game Master, Jason Collins. You can find me on Linktree with links to all of my work and our previous episodes of Quadrilateral at Linktree at digital_Collins.
Hi, I'm Barnaby. You can find me everywhere on the internet at that's_Barnaby. TTRPG illustrator. Please check out my work.
I'm Mara. You can find me on the internet as Lore Dropout or College of Lore Dropout, and over on Starlight Tales.
I'm Diana. You can find me at Sapphic Strigonona or just Sapphic Striga. You can also find me over at Starlight Tales, and you can find my writing coming out soon, hopefully, by the time this is released in Storybake.
Hi, I'm May. You can find me on the internet at Maybe Mayhem, or you can find me on my podcast with my friend Mary Kate called Socially Plagued.
We want to wish everyone a very happy May the 4th be with you on this special recording date for Quadrilateral Frostfall. And we want to wish all of our spacers and scoundrels safe skies.